and certainly an interesting possibility. Then we have gargoyles in South America, Mesoamerica, and of course in Europe with France. That might have been based on some creature like this. Someone saw it, that they just didn't use their imagination to create the gargoyle, but that these entities were based on living creatures which are somewhat similar, not identical to the Chupacabra, but certainly in, let's say, the same general family.
That's interesting. So really, when you come to think about it, the Mosquito Man, the Mothman, the Chupacabra, they're all really very similar.
Well, they're similar and different. For instance, the Mothman was much taller. He's, I think, about 7 feet tall, whereas the Chupacabra is much smaller, 3 to 4 feet when it's standing up.
About the size of a gray.
Yeah, and then since that's so often described as having a gray coloration, some individuals have argued that they're related, the little grays and the Chupacabra. Maybe the Chupacabras are the grays that have been seen by so many UFO contactees.
Yeah, because I believe when people see the grays, if I'm not mistaken, they actually have their suits on. The grays, because like my experience, like I've shared with you before, when I seen them, they had their suits on. So has anybody really seen the grays without a suit? Who knows, when they take off the suit like they did in the movie Fire in the Sky, when they took off their suits, they were a brown color, and didn't have the light bulb Spider-Man head. They sort of look like little old men that's been in the bathtub for too long, So perhaps if a gray was take off its suit, it would have the spikes on the back, and the red eyes, and the forked tongue.
Right, absolutely good point. Why don't you share with us your experience?
Okay, well, this happened when I was probably about 4 years old. I was not in school yet, so this is how I know I was around the age of 4. I was laying in my crib bed, and I seen these three. I was 3 or 4. I was in a crib bed. Yeah. I did sleep in a crib bed for a while. But yeah, anyway,
I
was laying in
You finally, I hope you graduated from that since.
Well, I don't know. We might talk about that. No. But anyway, as I was laying in my crib bed, I remember I'd seen it's like they come out of nowhere. It was like 1 minute I was just looking at the wall, and the next minute there they were. There were these 3 creatures, and I'll never forget this. One was red, and the other one was blue, and the other one was green. And they appeared to glow. And when I was little, I didn't really know how to understand this, but now as an adult, understanding LED and suits and all this, they had suits on, and like they were each, red, green, and blue. Each suit had the brightness of an LED light, like a brightness of a blue LED, and they were very tight, and they were actually very pretty to look at. They were creepy, but it was very nice to look at. But all of a sudden, I became afraid. And then it seemed like I went from that point of being afraid into my father's arms. He was holding me, and I was crying. And then I remember after that, I used to call them Spider-Man. And I would always go in my mom's bedroom, and I would look behind the crib bed to see where they were at or if I could see them again. And that's pretty much what got me into aliens and UFOs, always wondering what that was. And really what started shining light on things for me was when I watched an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. And then I began my search. I became a UFO hunter that day.
Robert Stack, an excellent series. So,
but yeah, I do believe that if we see the grays here on planet Earth, most likely they'll be in a suit.
Well, that's an interesting question, because often they're depicted, such as in the Stargate series. They have one alien on board, and he's not wearing a suit apparently. But wild creatures don't wear clothes. I would think, if not for no other reason, alien astronauts, even little grays, would have it on for protection because of radiation penetrating their spacecraft. So they might have it for that reason. So that's a very good point.
Back in the ancient, if you look at the ancient Sumerian, like in the museums, if you look at their artifacts and things, you see that the creatures and the aliens, they wear suits. You know, you can see even like the hieroglyphs and everything, and the stone carvings. You actually see the aliens with suits on.
Yes, we have some from Mexico where they're apparently one looks like an astronaut in a spaceship, and he has apparently attired in a space outfit and helmet. So that's a very good point. I've often wondered about that, the reports from so-called contactees, that they just talk about the little grays but don't mention them wearing spacesuits. Of course, it could be the case, but on the other hand, I think it's likelier they would have some sort of protection for no other reason from radiation.
Exactly, because if they were going to come to our planet, you know, they may be cautious of what's down here. They may be cautious of us. Who knows? Myself, I do believe that the Greys are more smarter than we are. You know, more superior.
Well, they
so I don't see why they would be afraid.
They landed on their planet, so they have the edge there technologically.
Yeah, that's true.
So, is Miko with us, by the way?
Let me look on the switchboard. No, not yet. No, it's just me and you. We got the chat room open. We have Nate Partlows in the chat room. So, Nate, if you're listening, what's up? I've got him going on in the chat. So anybody wants to join us in the chat room, go ahead. We're here chatting. And if I get my mind preoccupied, Nate's here. He's one of our good friends. He'll chat with you. I've also got him on Skype, so he can always send me a message there if there's anybody who wants to call in. So anyway, feel free.
Okay, well, we have a few cases here that I might share with you of the Chupacabra, because we've had a number of people claim that they did see them, and we had one case in 1995 in March in Puerto Rico, where the creature was seen in the Puerto Rican town of Canovanas, and as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed, which makes me think, because we hear of so many of the 30 turkeys that were killed on a farm in Russia by the so-called Chupacabra, that it may be killing wantonly rather than just out of need. It should not need that much blood or flesh or whatever it's deriving from these creatures. So that makes you wonder if it has a violent homicidal streak, based on the numbers we've had in some cases.
There was a story I had read years ago that a Chupacabra, some guy had seen it close to his garage or something, and it looked at him, and it pretty much just ran away. He said it didn't seem violent or anything. But myself, my personal opinion, I do believe they would be a little crazy. I would not want to run into a Chupacabra. I believe they would eat me.
Well, they might attack at least. But we have a woman named Valerie Pauls of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is September of 2006, that she was looked up at the 6th floor of the Amara Suites Hotel and saw two glowing red eyes peering down upon her. And she said the creature resembled a gargoyle and did have that sulfurous odor. And then it suddenly started hissing and flashing neon colors, and something similar to what you said about your experience as a 4-year-old. She became dizzy and disoriented. She managed to return to her car, and the creature dropped down upon her vehicle, broke the windshield, leapt back upon the roof, and then disappeared. But that's a very frightening case, certainly for that woman. As you said, well, how would you react if you came face-to-face with such an entity? Would you run, try to make friends with it, or try to attack it? What would your response be, do you think?
I would probably run. I wouldn't want to attack. And we have some callers, by the way. We have our good friends Eric and Nate has joined us.
Okay. Welcome to the show. Do you have any comments on the Chupacabra?
Hi, you guys.
Erica, do you wish to contribute to our discussion on the Chupacabra?
Well, I personally think that it's definitely a creature that has been made in the laboratory, and maybe possibly even by humans, is what I kind of think.
Well, I've discussed that. Genetic engineering in the lab, yes. And it either escaped or was deliberately released.
Yeah, I would say deliberately released.
Was this an experiment to see how it would interact with humans and our civilization?
Well, maybe out of pity almost. Because I don't know, although it could have escaped.
Hey, Doctor, do we sound echoey to you?
What do you think?
Yes, Benny, what?
I said, do we sound echoey to you?
Very echoey. I'm wondering if these chupacabras are maybe they're pets. Maybe they're pets, and I don't know.
That's what I was thinking earlier, Nate. Was they could be some kind of pet?
Well, aliens pets that escaped from the spacecraft when they landed, as opposed to just being deliberately released.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
Well, these are all possibilities, but it's also, and I know Benny's a staunch believer that there's definitely aliens. I'm open to that, but I have to acknowledge that they could be nothing but just some mangy coyotes and dogs, and all bets are on the table. Lab creatures, alien beings, natural mutations, or something equivalent to Bigfoot that evolved and just being sighted for the first time, or again, nothing more exciting than a mangy coyote.
That's true. So, if you were a vet man, Doctor, would you say the Chupacabra does exist? I mean, we don't really have any hard proof. We probably have more proof of Bigfoot than the Chupacabra.
Well, because we've had Bigfoot sightings for decades longer than Chupacabra, which really just came into play in the early 90s. I said 92 in Puerto Rico.
Actually,
that's when I heard about it.
I'm keeping an open mind. I hope it is an alien creature and does exist, but we need more proof.
Would you attack it, Doctor, if you've seen one, or would you?
No, actually, on that same question, you know, I believe in ETs, but if a UFO landed, I always thought I would approach it and try to extend my hand in friendship and communicate. But in reality, if I saw a UFO land, I might be the one to run away from it the fastest. So you never know what you're going to do when the actual situation takes place. Just as I went hunting for Bigfoot.
If I've seen aliens land, I would reach my hand in friendship. But if I seen the Chupacabra with the little spikes, I would run.
Definitely.
But this kid, if I had my camera, I may try to film it a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
Mine's changed.
Let's hope we have a chance to test these hypotheses out. Because I do hope it exists. I hope it is a real entity. But, again, I'm hedging my bets so far. But you're not.
Eric and Nate, is there anything you guys want to say? We got about a minute left. Reptilians?
No. This, I think my Skype is messing with Blog Talk Echo.
I got you.
Okay. Well, again, I'll say in conclusion, the universe is teeming with life. We're talking about 100 billion galaxies out there, 13.7 billion years for the age of our island universe. Something as bizarre and exotic as the Chupacabra certainly could have evolved either on Earth or on a planet beyond our solar system. So certainly within the realm of feasibility, but we don't have absolute proof yet of its true nature. And until next time then, may I say, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes.